In response to North Korean troops aiding Russia's effort against Ukraine, US President Joe Biden has cleared Ukraine for the use of the Long-Range Army Tactical Missile System, or ATACMS, deep inside Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that this approval would mean that NATO is at war with Russia. So will Biden's nod for long-range missiles inside Russia trigger World War III? News9 Plus Decodes. Biden's long-awaited nod to ease restrictions on Ukraine's use of US-supplied weapons inside Russia has been pending since Russia launched a cross-border attack on Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city, in May. Biden had initially allowed the Ukrainian forces to use the High-Mobility Artillery Rocket System, or HIMARS. Following further escalation, the latest decision to allow Ukraine the use of ATACMS has his advisors divided. Although officials believe that this action would not fundamentally change the course of the war, as it's primarily a message against the involvement of North Korean forces. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said during an address, "Today many in the media are talking about the fact that we have received permission to take appropriate actions," while adding, "The rockets will speak for themselves." Earlier in September, Putin drew a red line against the use of long-range missiles, stating that Moscow will view it as a direct participation of the NATO countries. So what is Putin's stance on the use of long-range missiles? Putin has said it would substantially change the very essence, the nature of the conflict. He also claimed that in order to use these missiles, Ukraine would require data from Western satellites that only NATO states had access to. During his announcement of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine on 24th February 2022, in relation to any potential Western involvement, Putin stated, "The consequences will be such as you have never seen in your entire history." This potential nuclear threat was ignored by Western leaders as they supplied Ukraine with F-16 fighter jets, tanks, and advanced missile systems. In September, Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister, Sergei Ryabkov, had reiterated by saying that Russia was set to revise its nuclear doctrine, a document that lays out the circumstances under which Russia may consider using nuclear weapons. So far, President Putin has been surprisingly calm and silent about the provocation. However, other leaders have not displayed similar restraint. So how have other Russian leaders responded? Departing US President Joe Biden has taken one of the most provocative, uncalculated decisions of his administration, which risks catastrophic consequences, declared the website of the Russian government newspaper Rossiyska Gazeta on Monday morning. Russian Senator Vladimir Zavirov had described it as an unprecedented step towards World War III. So what can the ATACMS do? Aiding Ukraine's effort in the defense of Kharkiv, the ATACMS, which have a range of 190 miles, weren't initially cleared for use by Biden. Until now, the Ukrainian forces had been using HIMARS, which have a range of 50 miles. With the recent change, the ATACMS will allow the Ukrainian forces to hit Russian and North Korean troop concentrations, key pieces of military equipment, and supply lines inside Russia. So will the UK and France follow suit? The French and British militaries had also provided Ukraine with Scalp and Storm Shadow missiles. The missiles, which have a range of 150 miles, have not been cleared for use from the French and British authorities. The providing nations have been reluctant to allow Ukraine the use of the Storm Shadow and Scalp missiles out of fears of escalation, willing to take that stance unless President Biden allows Ukraine the use of the ATACMS.